If you follow this channel, you'll know that in amongst the build videos, which are aimed at other working woodworkers, but also appreciated by DIYers, I do these occasional vlog style videos updating you on the status of the business or sharing other thoughts. Now, one of the earlier ones of them was me stood at the entrance to this workshop, which is on my property at the back of our house, giving you a little bit of a tour and then telling you that if you stick with the channel, you'll see us move from here. So I see this as like a thread running through the channel, the story of the growth and the highs and lows of a real small woodworking business in the UK. Now, as you may also know, if you've been following, we committed to rent a larger unit, found a really good deal on a unit in Sheffield, and would have been moving in by now. That was delayed because of renovation work that the landlord decided to do, including replacing the roof. He's told us that we should be able to move in by around about the end of April, and then the coronavirus hit worldwide. Now, I'm making this video as a bit of a moment in time to look back on, like other videos about the progression of the business. I'm making it also to try and connect with and relate to other small business owners, just to share my experience. And all our experiences will be different. The risks that we face, the overheads that we carry, and how we choose to approach this challenge will be different. So all I can do is share what we're going through and how we're thinking of moving forward. So I'll go ahead and do that. I put a post on Instagram about the government advice and how I interpret it, and also the government support available. Now, to summarise that post, which is a short series of videos, the way I read the government advice is that we can continue to work even in people's houses, but following strict social distancing and disinfecting procedures, and being absolutely sure that nobody, even in the household of anybody involved, has symptoms. Also in that series of videos, I've talked about the support that's available and how sadly, as directors of a limited company, myself and my wife are falling through the cracks with a lot of the support that's on offer. So we have fixed overheads to keep the business in existence, and yet we are getting lower income support due to the way that we as directors are paid, with a large proportion of it being through dividends, which is just standard. There's a petition about that, so see the link below to sign that petition to bring this to the attention of the government and give fair treatment to owners of small to medium companies. The post on Instagram, if you're interested, I will link to that as well, and it's this one, little series of videos there. Now, looking at my Instagram feed, I do feel that we have to adapt to survive. And just before we went into lockdown, based on government advice, I'd completed this home office project. Customer loves it, raves about it, sent me some great photos of it in use. And so I've been promoting that because there is now an opportunity where lots of people are working from home. And I think we're going to see massive changes in long-term working behaviour. For my sort of business, and perhaps your sort of business watching this, there's a lot that you simply can't do from home. And that's why, if you really look at the government advice, at least time of recording this video, they do acknowledge that if you cannot work from home to do the sort of work that you do, it is allowable to continue your work. So we are continuing to look for fitted furniture projects, and we are just discussing as a team when we return to normal working. We are, as a family, self-isolating because last weekend my wife had some symptoms. She's had bad flu. I don't actually think it was coronavirus, but to be absolutely on the safe side, we feel we should self-isolate. So the current government advice is 14 days for all household members from when that individual first fell ill. So we've got, at time of recording, we've got another week. And beyond that, we're just discussing, debating how we move forward. But I do, at the moment, anticipate that we will go back to installing with certain measures in place. we have, as you can see, a few projects on the go. Most of what you see here is one big job, but we do have bits and bobs of others hanging around. There's a couple of grey jobs going through. This one's going to be grey with some oak, and then we've got a bedroom as well that is partway through spraying. Brady's had to stay home, so he can't continue with that. Yeah, we are certainly taking a financial hit. We're already taking a financial hit, and we'd already had a difficult start to March. Sometimes we get this seasonally where we have a lot of inquiries, but customers at this early time of year often seem hesitant to go ahead. They're just planning and finding prices. So definite financial hit, but we're not giving up. We do have this uncertainty hanging over us though, of the planned workshop move, which incurs overheads which at present we can't really see how we afford, and we're moving house. So we found a buyer for the house, and we are almost at the point of exchange of contracts, committing to also purchase a new build house. And as of today, the latest news is the government's advising not to go ahead with new house purchases, and that just makes sense for us because our income is so uncertain, and we were making a move right at the top end of our affordability. So everything's really in doubt, which is the case for many of us, I know. If you're wondering why we'd be moving from here with this workshop at the back of a house, it's got a lot to do with our family situation. So my son has cerebral palsy, and the access to this house is becoming a problem. Yeah, and the access to this house is becoming a problem, and we really need to get a long-term home that we can set up correctly for him and for my daughter. We also for a long time have been desperate to separate our living environment from our working environment, and because we're now a limited company with staff, we really need to be set up in a proper business premises. So that's been a priority for a while. However, that's one of the reasons we're falling through the cracks, because we are not officially on the system as having a business premises that is officially exempt from business rates. Although the size of this premises would be exempt, we're just not on the system because our priority was to get legitimate as quick as possible, with the best intention in the world to run a legitimate business. And we were concerned that having built this up from being self-employed to having staff, we sort of crossed a bit of a line where we really ought to be not in a residential area. Neighbours have been fine, so our conscience has been clear, but we've been aware that we just need to make that move. So lots of reasons really why we've been wanting to make the move, and we're just about to, but it's all in doubt. My battery's running out on this, so I'm not going to talk much longer, but a couple of things I wanted to show you. I'm just organising my tools. I'm about to organise my tools, all my hand tools, to make a really neat installation kit. And I've decided to defect from Festool. Although I'm a bit of a Festool snob, these DeWalt T-stack drawers are really good. And I've seen a guy, it's called David McGuinness at Enhanced Kitchens. You can find him on Instagram. He's a fitter with a real eye for detail, and he has used this foam cut and fitted into those drawers, and then he cuts round. That's what the foam is made for. You cut round tools so you can get a nice arrangement of tools, and they all have a place that they go back into. So I've decided to get super organised like that, partly because I've got a bit of time to do it, partly because it will help me be efficient and clean and quick on installations, which is going to be part of how we go forward, giving customers confidence that we can do their installations quickly, cleanly and efficiently with minimum contact. That foam, if you're interested, I got it on eBay. It's a brand called Shadow Foam. The other thing I just wanted to share with you, if you're still with me watching this, is as part of adapting, I said we need to adapt to survive. You may know that for some time I've been putting online content out there. Now my intention is to really help and support the woodworking community. If you go to buymeacoffee.com/freebird, you can see there's content on there, some of it freely available. We've got YouTube, we've got a podcast. You can look for a podcast called the Freebird, called the Fitted Furniture Makers Podcast. Then there's Instagram. So there's lots of stuff for free, including Sketchup tutorials on YouTube. But if you donate, if you support the content that I'm creating, then you get extra benefits. So as a one-off supporter, you get a Hayfordly Luke's Lighting crib sheet, and as a member, which is currently £5 a month, you get a load of other stuff. And one of the big things with that is what I've called the Fitted Furniture Masterclass, which is this project, one of our most ambitious projects. It's a multi-part video series because I recorded absolutely from start to finish the whole process. So it answers a load of questions that I often get asked and things that I don't cover in my typical installation videos. I show you the process of cutting out, of sanding the edges of the MDF, of spraying it, the assembly process. I show you actually making a unit using our 3D assembly jig. That's another thing that I get asked about a lot. And so I've got 2 or 3 videos up at the moment, but I'm in the process of editing up the rest, and it's going to be at least a dozen. So this is absolutely packed with detail. So if you become a member, just £5 a month, you are going to get some fantastic information on how we make fitted furniture. Look here, we've got one about our assembly process. So here's the process of fitting the first shelf. I've already fitted the side panel or part L. Yeah, packed with information and my usual honesty, mistakes, how I fix mistakes, but ending up with a really fantastic finished product. And I think one of the benefits of the course, if we can call it a course, is it's produced with not the most perfect, most expensive machinery. We didn't have a panel saw at time of doing this, didn't have an edge bander. So it's a really great way to give you inspiration if you're getting into this line of work. You got your rail saw and you're starting to build up your tools, your router, to show you what you can achieve with some relatively simple techniques, generally screwing units together. We don't have a Lamello, for example. So if you're in this line of work, if you are wondering how to move forward, you've got the anxieties that we've all got about the future of your business, but you want to invest some time in building your skills, then I really recommend this course. And obviously I'd love people to sign up because that's going to help keep me financially afloat. But my idea is it's a really low barrier to entry. It's I think fantastically generous. For £5 a month, you will ultimately get this whole series and extra content. And in doing so, you'll also support my ability to continue supporting the woodworking community through content that people are really finding helpful and encouraging, including about mental health and just trying to bring people together and connect with others that understand what it's like to run a business like this, particularly in these challenging times. So forgive me if that's turned into a little bit of a sales pitch. I don't exactly intend it that way because I think you're going to get such good value if you do go through and sign up. If not, feel free to look through my back catalogue, go to Sketchup training series, look at the podcast. They're going out every month, so there's a back catalogue of that building up. And stay connected by whatever means to others that can understand and support you through this difficult period. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.